Hey guys, I just wanted to get on and rant a little bit because I'm seeing so much anti-Russian propaganda all over mainstream news, popping up my Facebook feed, on Twitter, and it just blows my mind. Now that Russia's started doing airstrikes in Syria, they're actually killing terrorists instead of arming them, like our government's been doing here in the US. And that's a fact. You can Google, supply drops to ISIS, and they'll pop up. There's been at least 2 or 3 in recent memory that I can recall. And that's alongside the fact that ISIS is armed with, M16s. They have all kinds of advanced military hardware that was American and left behind conveniently in Iraq for them to pick up. And it just blows my mind. There's all this Russian propaganda. If I scroll through my Facebook feed, there's an article about, and I'll put these links in the description, an article about American airstrike in Afghanistan that hits a hospital and kills 50 doctors. But you're not going to hear about that on CNN or MSNBC. And you're only going to hear some BS from a Middle Eastern think tank that just wants to promote their propaganda, their bullshit. There's another one, an advisor to Assad announcing that the intentions of the U.S. in Syria was not to fight terrorism at all, that's a fact. We've been promoting terrorism. We promoted terrorism in Libya. We promoted terrorism in Yemen. Anytime we enter a sovereign nation and start blowing people up and throwing weapons to quote unquote moderate rebels, we are promoting terrorism. I mean, you can't split that hair. There's no two ways about it. And anytime Putin has spoken, and you can see his videos, you can see his speech at the UN, you can see, he's spoken to a bunch of American media people. And, anytime he's spoken, he's pointed this out very clearly. And what I've also found really interesting is that we had this mass shooting in Oregon that was all over the news. These shootings, they happen all the time. Sometimes they make the news. Sometimes they're, a little byline. But especially when our government has something extremely embarrassing happen, you see these shootings pop out, either 24 hours before or up to 48 hours after the embarrassing event. And, as Russia's been kicking ass in Syria, all the media channels are no longer talking about that. All they want to talk about is that, there's another mass shooting and now we need gun control laws. And, this is a problem. You have Obama get on the TV and start ranting about gun control being the problem. Gun control is the issue. Granted, we could use some better gun control here in America, but that's not the problem. I mean, you want to, I'll put my tinfoil hat on for a moment and get a little conspiratorial. They have these directed microwave audio broadcasting weapons, which basically uses your skull as an amplifier. And you can hear voices projected into your head, hundreds of feet away. And they were working on this technology in the 60s and 70s. And again, you can go back and Google this stuff. I'm not making it up. So anytime you have somebody who claimed to hear voices, we had the woman who drove it on the White House lawn with a baby in her car, months to a year ago. She heard voices. The guy that shot those reporters on live television, he heard voices too. And hearing voices, that's a sign of schizophrenia and mental illness, no doubt. But it can happen. They can, for some reason, target individuals, and bombard them with voices telling them to do something and harassing them. It just happens. So I just had to get on. I had to say something about it. It's driving me insane. There's going to be links in the description of the video. Check them out if you're interested. Comment. I'm more than happy to take a beating here if you have some negative things to say about me or my opinions. But yeah, just read the news. Don't watch the TV without a critical eye. I mean, the TV is a lie machine, especially if you're looking at CNN, MSNBC, any of the major owned media companies. They're going to be lying to you. I mean, that's what they do. And I have friends and family who, repeat the talking points to me word by word as if it's gospel. It's insane. You just can't do that. So anytime you turn on the TV, think with a critical eye. get your information from the internet. I highly recommend SOTT.net, SOTT.net. It's a website that I work on. I'm an editor there. They aggregate news from everywhere, pull it in. They try to make getting accurate information easy. You can comment, you can join the discussion. And anyway, just keep your eyes open, keep your minds open, think, brain. That's all I got. Sorry.